We are in constant transition. It doesn't matter which stage of our life we are. And I'm going to talk about my childhood, my adolescence time, and my adulthood. So my parents, they were married when they were really young. My father, he was from the military, and they got married. And since when they got married, we lived in Brasilia. So my life was going from one state to the other. We were always moving. And 2 years later, when my mom had me, my brother was born. So, and then from there we moved to Rio. And in Rio, one day I was 9 years old, and my mom was feeling really sick. And she went to the doctor, and she was really worried. And the doctor told her that she was pregnant with twins. So one day when my mom, at night, she woke up and she left the house in a hurry. And me and my brother, we were sleeping and we stayed at home. We didn't know what was going on. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I told him, I woke up him and I said, where are they? He said, I don't know. And then I remember we went to the living room and we started praying and asked God to bring them back because we didn't know what was going on. So in the morning, my dad came back and he said, oh, you had twin sisters. And it was a great memory of my life. I would like to share this with you. So from there, we moved to Amazon region, to the Amazon state. And we lived there for a while, and it was really, really hot and humid. It's a beautiful city, but just to visit. It's not a great place to live. Anyways, another thing that I remember is when I was 9 years old, and we lived in this street and had like a big slope. To me, it was big because I was little. I was like 10. And me and my brother, we were riding the bicycles. And my mom was pushing my sisters in the stroller. And when we were coming back home, my brother, of course, boys, they have this kind of bicycle, right? They don't have anything on the back. So he was always breaking his bicycle, like he was riding and breaking like on the back. He always destroyed his shoes and slippers, anything that he was wearing. And I decided to do the same. But girls' bicycle, it's like this. You can put your foot over there. So I was down, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And there was like this big traffic and this, like on the end of the street. And I had to think fast. I was like, what I'm gonna do? And then on the right, I saw the street, that end. And then I decided to turn my bicycle. Of course, I fell. Of course, I got like scratches all over my body. And I remember my slippers, they were flying. And my brother was like, I can't believe you did that. Anyways, I ended up with a broken thumb. And it's a sad story for me, but he always likes to tell this story to people. He thinks it's funny. But anyways, I decided to share that with you. And then we moved to a lot of states. And then in my adolescent time, of course, we came back to Amazon region again. In Amazon, it was when I started my nursing school, which is something that I'm really passionate about, nurse. I'm a nurse, so I started my nursing school there. And another thing is, while I was at nursing school, in Amazon, they have a lot of tourists from all around the world. So like Americans, Australians, people from everywhere. So I was really curious what they were talking about because they were always speaking in English. And then I decided to learn English from there. So, and then my father decided to move to Brasilia again. So while I was living in Brasilia, I have to transfer all my credits from Amazon region to Brasilia. And in Brasilia, I finished my nursing school and I decided to move to Vitória because my father, he was like, oh, I'm gonna go, I'm retired and I decided to move to Vitória. So Vitória is a really, really beautiful city. And in Vitória, I finished my nursing school there. And in the middle of my nursing school, not to lose my practice of English, I came to United States, and as a work experience, I work in different companies here in the United States. And it was when my dream to come to United States began. So that's in Sun Valley. Anyways, when I came back to Brazil, I was like, I need to practice. I started teaching English. And I graduate, and I started working in 3 jobs. So I was working as a nurse, as an English teacher, and with foreign patients in the hospital, translating medical terms and talking to them, and being with them because their families were all like everywhere, so no one could understand what they were talking in the hospital. So I was there like full time, so I was working a lot. Anyways, so life was passing by. My father was diagnosed with cancer. He passed away last year. And but before he passed away, my sisters got married, so the family got bigger and the house got bigger too, because they were moving. And anyways, when my father passed away was when I decided it was time for me for a new beginning, a new transition. So I decided to move to United States. And as a conclusion, I would like to say that we are in constant transition. It doesn't matter if it's childhood, adolescence time, or adulthood. But God is perfect. So every time everything that happens in our lives, God is in control. So every time I try to remember about this verse in the Bible, which is in Joshua 1:9, it says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God be with you wherever you go." So wherever I was, or me and my family, God was always out by our side and helping us. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much.